Gretchen.
Hi.
Take a seat. Is it okay if I call you Gretchen?
Yeah, Gretchen is fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good today.
Yeah? Okay, so I really appreciate you coming in. I know today's a Friday, tomorrow's a weekend, so
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably have plans. Do you?
I have work and I'm planning to go see a movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna see Spider-Man.
Oh my gosh, I like Spider-Man.
Nice.
Today I'm going to go ahead and administer an assessment.
Okay.
And we'll be asking just a few questions and reading off the paper, as well as taking notes. Is that okay if I write?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, so the assessment today, I'm going to just kind of ask questions just to get to know you as a person, but as well as, your roles and your occupations, just so I can better assist you.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and begin, and if you have any questions, feel free to pause me, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm Gretchen. I'm 21 years old. I'm a sophomore in college and I work at Forever 21. In the past, doctors have said that I have ADHD.
Okay. And what's your major in college?
I'm a kinesiology major.
Okay. So I understand that you go to work and as well as a student.
Mm-hmm.
How are you balancing the responsibilities between those two?
It's really hard. I try to only work on the weekends, and yeah, I've just been struggling a lot with that actually.
Okay. How did you come to choose this line of study?
So I chose kinesiology because I'm a really active person. I'm like always moving around, and I feel like that's just fun for me to like let out my energy. So just learning more about that.
Okay. And just to kind of go a little further into detail, what kind of responsibilities do you have as a student?
So I have to do like a lot of studying, and then I have to make time to drive to school and just basically like do homework and pay attention in class.
Okay. And how well do you handle these responsibilities, like studying or just doing homework?
I'm okay. I'm not doing too well. I fail usually some of my classes. I failed two so far.
Two so far?
Yeah, but I don't really get like A's or anything like that.
Okay. And that's within the past 2 years?
Yeah, that's been since college.
Okay. Do you like going to your classes?
I do at the beginning, but I tend to lose focus like towards the end.
Mm-hmm. And why do you feel like you lose focus?
I just get like bored, and then I just start to like look around the classroom or like start to fiddle with things, and yeah, it's just hard to keep focus.
Okay. And what kind of student would you say that you are?
I feel like I'm kind of lazy a bit. It's like when I get home, I'm so drained, so I don't even like do anything, and I'm not very organized. Like sometimes I forget when our exams are. Yeah.
I know you gave me a few some examples, but can you go a little into further detail as to how you're lazy student?
Sure. So last week, we had an exam for kinesiology. It was our first one, and we had just started the course, so I was like, okay, I have some time to like study and like figure it out and kind of catch up with what I missed in class. Then I should have like written it down or something, but I get to class on Tuesday, and next thing I know, the professor's like handing out scantrons. Then I'm like asking around, I'm like, is there a test today? They're like, yeah, it's exam 1 today. And I like I must have missed that.
And is school difficult for you?
Yeah, it's pretty hard to stay focused. I wouldn't say I'm a good student.
What about your past student experiences?
Yeah, I wasn't good either. Like, they would always send like notes home to my mom, and I would get in trouble.
And how much of your time or energy do your studies take?
I try to study for like an hour or two, and then try to like take breaks. But yeah, usually like 1 to 2 hours a day is what I try to shoot for.
Is that per class or just in general?
No, just in general.
And how far did you go in school?
So I actually only went to 10th grade. I was going through a lot at home and I decided to move away with my boyfriend Robert.
How has your disability affected your studies?
Yeah, so it makes it really hard to concentrate and focus, and I wish that like back then my parents would have tried to get more help for me so I can understand it a little bit better.
And have you worked in the past?
No, this is my first job at Forever 21.
Why do you think that you haven't worked in the past?
Well, I don't feel like I had like support at home, so I don't think my parents would have gone for taking me to work because I didn't have my license back then. And I was already doing bad at school and soccer, so I just didn't think I could handle something else. And I don't think my parents would have thought so either.
What kind of worker would you say that you are?
I feel like I'm very personable. Like I talk to everybody at work and I help the customers, but sometimes I do not focus on like the tasks.
And what would you say is the main thing that you get out of work?
So for me, it's really just about like making money, paying my apartment, and paying for my tuition.
And how much time and energy does work take?
So I'm usually really tired after work because I do 8-hour shifts on Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, that's pretty draining. But usually I try to catch up with responsibilities on the weekend.
And is work difficult for you?
Yeah, I think what mainly makes it so draining is just like all of the assignments that we're given and just the demands from like the supervisors basically.
And has your disability affected work?
I feel like it makes it hard for me to remember what things I have to do and kind of makes it like unorganized in the order that I do things.
In addition to your work and studies, is there anything else that takes up a lot of your time and energy and is really important to you?
So it's really important for me to be a good friend. I just like really like listening to people and helping them. My best friend is actually Lexi, my roommate. And with some of my friends, I also play on an intramural soccer team at Dominguez Hills.
So it seems like your role as a friend is to kind of listen and help others. Would you agree to that?
Oh yeah, that's definitely my role with my friendships. I love doing that.
Do you live in an apartment with Lexi?
I do.
Do you live with anyone else?
No, it's just me and Lexi.
And how do you divide up the responsibilities to kind of keep up your home?
Yeah, so we try to make it even, but Lexi's like aware of my situation and like what I have going on. So I know she tends to pick up a little bit more of the slack, but for the common areas, it should be 50-50.
Okay. And do you actively participate in any organization or in a church or temple group?
No, I don't really practice any religion or spirituality.
Alright, so now that we've talked a little bit about that, I want to talk about your daily routine. Can you tell me a little bit about what a typical day during the week is like for you?
Yeah, so usually I wake up pretty late, and that's why I decided to do afternoon classes in college. So I wake up like maybe 10, 11, and then I'll try and eat something if I have enough time. I just really don't like cooking. So I'll do like a bar or like some leftovers, and then I'll go to class. Then depending on the day, I'll either go, so usually on Mondays and Wednesdays, I'll do the intramural soccer. And then if I don't, then I'll try and study. And then after that, I come home. I really just like, I need a nap. I need to just like lay down and watch TV and just like decompress and go on my phone. And then I'll try and cook some dinner, get some more takeout, and just kind of chill. And then yeah, it's just a cycle of that.
Okay, and can you tell me about something that happened recently that kind of typifies what this routine is really like for you? Like, how do you feel with sleeping in, but then does that give you enough time to study, or do you feel like maybe it's not the best routine for you right now?
Yeah, definitely, it's not a good routine because I'm just sleeping too much, but during the day I'm just so tired that I feel like I need to. And then usually since school drains me, mentally I just want to do something that's like mentally fun for me. And when I don't have soccer, I'll usually be like watching TV or going on TikTok, and those things are just like not very productive.
And are the weekends any different than a weekday? Is the routine the same, or is it
Oh,
different?
actually, it's different. So since I don't have school on the weekend, I work. So I work. Remember, like I work at Forever 21. So same thing. I really wanted late shifts, so I told them that I can close any day. So I sleep in more on the weekends, and for sure I get takeout because it's like a little treat for me. And then I'll try and help Lexi with like the cleaning on the weekend before I go to work, and then I'll take a quick break, and then I'll be at work till late at night.
That's good. So it seems like during the weekend you get a little more time to just kind of sleep, to help out Lexi, so you kind of feel a little better during the weekends then, right?
Yeah, I definitely catch up since school's not there. It doesn't drain me as much.
And so you would say you're more satisfied with your routine during the weekend?
Yeah, definitely.
So what do you like specifically?
I like how I'm able to help Lexi clean, and I'm basically like forced to be at work, and I feel like being at work is good for me, just because it provides like some structure, and I'm like doing something productive.
And if you were having a really good day, or maybe having a really bad day, what would that day be like for you?
So a really bad day would definitely be like waking up late and not having time to have breakfast. And then usually a really good day is when I wake up and take a shower, like do like a whole like morning routine, which I don't do that often. Like I've been really trying to like wash my face, brush my teeth, and like take a shower like all together. So if I do that whole routine and have a good breakfast, then I know it's gonna be a good day. And usually like when I have soccer, I have a little bit more structure because I have to like pack my cleats and my extra change of clothes. So I like wake up a little earlier to do that.
So then, what are the most important things in your routine? So I know you mentioned the morning routine, being able to do the breakfast, having a like little face care routine. But are those the most important things, or do you feel like there's something else that you also value?
I really value like my decompression time. So like watching TV and going on my phone is really important for me because sometimes I just get like a big old headache from being out all day, and that just allows me to transition to the next thing that I have to do.
And do you feel like your routine right now allows you to get things done, like these important things done?
The only thing that I need to spend more time on, and I like already know, is studying, because in college like it doesn't just stop after that. Like even I have to do more than homework. I have to study for exams, and sometimes there's not like a due date to that. I just have to like do it, so there's not a lot of structure given to me for studying.
So studying is like one of the important things you're not really able to do with the current routine.
Yeah.
Was your daily routine ever different from what it is now?
Like in high school, it was basically the same. Like I would wake up late a lot of the times, go to school, and then just be exhausted afterwards, and then yeah.
So was it just because school in high school was like 8 to 3, so that like was just there was more structure to that, and so then that's what was different about that.
Yeah, exactly. There's just more structure given to me back then.
All right, and so how would you compare these routines? Which one was better for you?
I'd say this one's better for me just because I'm in class for a short amount of time. But in high school, like that was all that I could do. But now, since class is a shorter amount of time, I have more time for like cooking on my own, doing like cleaning around the house and working. So I don't think I could have done that with like 8 hours of school.
Yeah, like it definitely gives you more time, and I guess what is good about college is you can usually pick out your schedule. You said the afternoon works better for you, so then it gives you more free time in between. So that really is good.
Yeah.
What is the most important thing to keep the same about your current routine?
I definitely want to keep the PM classes. And since I'm a kinesiology major and it's like a really impacted thing, it's hard to do that, but I need to, even if they're spaced out, I have to have them late and not too lengthy.
And if you were able to change something about the routine, what would that be?
I wish I could get a better night's sleep so I don't feel so sleepy during the day and wake up so late. Just like in the middle of the night, I like toss and turn and I just wake up like at 2, 3 a.m. and just stare at the ceiling.
Yeah, so maybe getting to bed a little earlier, getting a full night's sleep would help.
Yeah.
And right now, do you have any ongoing hobbies or projects that you're working on?
Not really. Like soccer is like a consistent thing, and right now I'm currently doing a movie marathon of all the Marvel movies, and that's something that I really like. So that's kind of like when I do that decompression that I was talking about.
So tell me more about this movie marathon. Is this something you do on your own, or is there a specific time you like to do it, or how does that go for you?
I love to do it basically when I'm done with a stressful situation like school or work and just like wind down. I like to do it alone, but sometimes when Lexi's home, I love when she joins me. And if I find friends who like Marvel too, I'll invite them over. It's just like really fun. I make snacks and everything.
Popcorn, good snacks.
Yeah.
And how often do you get to do that? You get to watch a movie from her?
Probably for like an hour a day. I get to do it.
And how did you get started watching the Marvel marathon movies?
Oh, they're just so like loud and like there's always action with Marvel. Like there's never like a dull time where you're just like listening to them talk. Like it's just cool and how they all have like different superheroes. Yeah.
Which is your favorite one so far?
I really like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. I heard there's a new movie for that, right?
Oh yeah, I want to go see it this weekend.
So you like the action, you like the loudness. Is there anything else you specifically like about this hobby of yours?
It's cool because you can do it with people too. Like it doesn't have to be a solo thing. So it's like bonding.
And how long has it been a part of your routine? Is this something that you recently started, or has it been like months on end type of thing? Or
yeah. So I got into it when I was dating my ex-boyfriend. He really liked it, and then after that, I just kind of made it my own thing.
And do you have any hobbies or projects that were part of your routine in the past?
No, I didn't have many hobbies in the past, just soccer.
And that's something that you still enjoy today, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
We're going to talk a little bit more about your environment, which includes your physical space as well as kind of your social circle. So you mentioned earlier that you live in an apartment with Lexi. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, our apartment, it's smaller, but we do have our own rooms. So yeah, and you do have to get like a steep stairwell to get up there, but it does the job.
Okay, perfect. Do you have a picture of it by any chance that you would be able to show me?
Oh yeah, actually. Yeah, and then see how the closets are kind of small, but it still fits all my stuff.
Oh, perfect. I like that the walls are pink.
Yeah, that's my favorite color. So
Nice.
it's nice that you're wearing it.
Say your apartment's comfortable?
Yeah, it's comfortable and it's really convenient because it's like right next to campus.
Oh, that's awesome. And do you have enough privacy?
Yes.
And is it accessible for you to get around and into your apartment?
Yeah, I mean, besides, I can go up the stairs very easily.
Perfect. And are you ever bored in your apartment?
Yeah, sometimes, especially when Lexi's not home. We have like some sort of like difference in our schedules.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's not there, I'm like, I wish somebody was here to talk to me or like do stuff with me.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned you had some like a big group of friends. Do you like to invite them over and like do things with them too?
I should invite them over more, especially since like I live right across the street from campus. I'm pretty sure they can get there pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you like your surroundings? Like, is your apartment meaningful to you?
Oh yeah, it's really calming. Lexi's like a really good roommate, and then I live on a main street, so it's like really convenient because there's a lot of fast food options. And kind of like I mentioned before, I don't like to cook,
Mm-hmm.
so it's really easy to go grab a quick bite.
Yeah, sounds like a very convenient location.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to do to keep up your apartment that you live with?
I have to do cleaning. I want to be mindful of Lexi, but it's hard sometimes.
Yeah, do you think you're able to kind of clean like the same amount as she does?
I want to keep it 50-50. I do, but I don't think it is. And yeah, sometimes Lexi picks up the slack a little bit, but she's understanding. I try to keep the common areas good, but
Well, I'm glad she's really understanding about that. Is she like aware of your diagnosis as well?
yeah, so I've actually talked to her about it like before we moved in. I told her that I'm a bit of a messy person and that I, try my best. And she's really open, especially being like a psych major, she gets it.
Yeah. Would you be able to tell me a little bit more about your relationship with Lexi?
Yeah, so I met her my first year of college, and I was really like, I was commuting from where I used to live with my ex-boyfriend, so I needed to find a new spot that would promote my education a little bit better. And yeah, we clicked automatically. She likes soccer too, and she's like a really active person, so yeah.
Perfect. Sounds like a great match. Going back to your cleaning portion, do you like to clean your apartment?
No, I really just do it to kind of like be that good roommate, good friend.
Got it. And if your apartment is clean, how does that make you feel?
It definitely would be a lot better if it was clean, like a lot more organized. So I usually hang out in those common areas. Like at the end of the day, like especially for the TV, and it's a lot nicer. My room is just like super messy.
Gotcha. Can you talk a little bit more about your room?
So I don't want to show you a picture of that.
Okay,
So
that's okay.
yeah, it looks like I never make my bed. I just think there's no point because I'm already gonna lay in it. I do get takeout a lot, so I'll have it on like my nightstand, and then my clothes are just everywhere, like they just pile up. And then my laundry baskets, I don't like to fold them, so I just leave them.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing with me, Gretchen. Are you able to clean okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. Is there anything else you want to add about your relationship with Lexi?
No, she's just like a really understanding person, and I think that just makes a difference, especially compared to like my old environment at home with my parents.
And what was that environment like?
I just felt like they were always judging me and they like never understood. They just thought something was wrong with me, basically.
Got it. Thank you. And what kind of things do you like to do with Lexi?
We love to watch those Marvel movie marathons, like when she can join me. And then we do, like, she's gotten me into like this good habit of going grocery shopping with her. And she's so organized, and she has like her grocery list with her. So she like asks me what I need and she like adds it to the list. She's just like really good about that.
Oh, she sounds so helpful. And it's always fun to go grocery shopping with friends too.
Yeah.
How would you describe like the area you live in?
So again, on like that busy street, and then I'm right next to like Chick-fil-A and In-N-Out. Those are like my two favorites. So it's like, I'm always eating out.
Love that. Is there anyone in your family or your home that makes life stressful or difficult for you?
Probably just like my parents. But yeah, they're just not understanding.
Okay, thank you. And if you need help with something, can you expect your roommate or your friends to give you a hand?
Oh yeah, they're super helpful. That's like one good thing that I have with my friends.
Got it. Kind of going back on your parents, is there kind of an example of when they weren't really understanding of your situation?
Yeah, so my dad calls me lazy a lot. So, for example, when I had got my job at Forever 21, I needed to open a bank account. I had never done that before. So I asked him to help me, and he said he would, like, he'd go right after work to meet him at the bank. So I had class from 12 to 3. Then I had soccer from 3 to 4, and he wanted me to be at the bank at 5. So I rushed to my apartment, and I was supposed to just change, but like, I laid down, went on TikTok for a second, and I got super distracted. Next thing I know, I'm getting a call from my dad, like, "Where are you? I'm at the bank, and it's like already 5:15. You're supposed to be here." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I had just completely forgot, because I had a long day, and yeah, he just didn't understand. He was just yelling at me, like, "I thought you wanted to do this," and he was just calling me lazy.
Yeah, I think that's very understandable. You had a very long day, and like I wouldn't want to do that either.
Yeah.
If you were feeling upset, would you be able to expect your friends or your roommate to be there for you?
Yeah, like I actually told Lexi about the situation after, and she gets it. I think because she's like a college student too, so she understood like how draining class and the club is.
Perfect. I kind of noticed that you've been fidgeting a little bit. Do you need to take a little break?
Oh yeah, I love that.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Oh my gosh, thank you for letting me get that break. It was so good to like stand up and stretch.
Yeah, of course. We've been sitting here for a while.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you're a sophomore at Dominguez Hills. Could you tell me more about the school? Like, what is it like?
It's pretty big campus. Classes are small, and yeah, that's pretty much it. They have a union and a library. I usually study at the union.
Oh, do you have any pictures of the union that you could show me?
Oh yeah, let me show you. Yeah.
Oh, it's very spacious.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see there's a lot of food options
Mhm,
too.
there's food, yeah, because you know I hate cooking, so I never bring food.
Of course. Do you think it's well suited for you to get your studies done and your homework?
I think certain parts are like quiet spaces, like the library or the grad school building, not for me.
Why not?
It's just so quiet, and then I just get distracted. Like I want to do something else. Like I just can't stay there for so long.
So you like more like noisy areas, kind of like the union?
Any noisy and like people around, even if they're not interacting with me.
Do you feel like you have enough privacy even in these like loud environments?
Yeah.
And can you get around okay?
Yes.
Perfect. And what are the main things you do at school, and is it adequate for you to do those things? Do you have all the things that you need?
I think that I have everything that I need to do stuff. Maybe something cool that I would benefit from is like maybe like some headphones or like some more time to finish my tests because I'm like always the last one in the classroom.
Have you been able to talk to the disabilities office?
No, I haven't, but I should.
We can talk about that more later as well.
Okay.
Do you ever feel bored at school?
Oh yeah, especially in class. I zone out after like an hour.
Gotcha. Does your teacher give you like breaks?
No, I usually just go to the restroom and just like go on my phone for a little bit and like take a walk or something like that, and then I come back.
Okay, well I'm glad that you're taking breaks on your own when you need it. Do you ever feel stressed at school?
Yeah, especially with like deadlines, I just get them all like they get all mixed up. I'm just like really unorganized, and sometimes I'll go to class and I don't even know, and like we have an exam that day, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Do you have like a planner you can kind of start writing your assignments in?
No, I don't.
Okay, we can talk about that later as well. Who do you think you interact with the most at school?
I get along with everybody, so basically just like my classmates, or if I see people from the intramural soccer, I say hi.
Perfect. Do you think you interact a lot with your professors?
No, they're just so boring. Like during class, I don't even want to hear their voice after.
I understand. Now let's talk more about your place of work. You mentioned that you work at Forever 21. Do you like your surroundings at Forever 21?
Pretty much. It's very social, and I'm like on my feet. And honestly, it's a bit messy in the back, but that's how I live. Like everybody complains that it's messy back there, but of doesn't bother me.
Do you like working there?
I do.
How would you describe the environment of Forever 21?
I feel like there's always busy. Like we have a long line. There's pretty good lighting in there because they want you to see all the clothes in like the fitting rooms. But it is like really messy. Like a lot of the clothes pile up on top of each other.
And you mentioned you only work on the weekends, right? So that's why it's so busy. Gotcha. And who are the people that you interact with the most at Forever 21?
So my coworkers, Jessie, is probably like my favorite one. We have the same night shift. Sometimes my supervisor kind of gives me assignments, and they just really want me to complete them in like the time that I'm there. So it's kind of hard. So yeah.
Have you been able to talk to your supervisor about that?
Not really. I don't want them to think that I'm like unable to do my job. Because as soon as I tell people, they're just gonna start thinking I'm gonna be bad at stuff.
Would you say your relationship with your supervisor is like good, bad?
It's like in the middle. I feel like they like me, but they probably think I'm not doing stuff because I'm lazy, but I literally just forget.
Maybe that's something you can talk about with your supervisor as well. Kind of in the same line, is there anyone at work who makes work difficult or stressful for you?
Probably just a supervisor.
Okay.
They just give me a lot of verbal tasks, and I just like at the beginning of the shift we have like a check-in, and they just give me like 3 verbal things, and I remember the first 2, and at the end I don't remember the last one.
Okay, so maybe we can kind of work on writing them down as well, so you can kind of remember.
Yeah.
If you need help with something, could you expect your coworkers to kind of give you a hand at work?
Oh yeah, I definitely love how they're so close, and I can just ask them.
Could you give me an example of that?
Yeah, sure. So when I like needed to go to the back and try and find a shirt for a customer, I needed to look at the tag, but I had like forgot, so I got on the walkie and I asked one of my coworkers to read me the number, and they did, so I was able to find the shirt in the back.
Perfect, sounds like good teamwork. If you're feeling really upset at work, could you expect your coworkers to give you advice or support?
Yeah, they always check in, and we always talk during lunch too.
Oh, I love that. All right. Okay, so kind of talking about your leisure activities, you mentioned earlier that you like, you're having like a Marvel movie marathon. Are there other main things you like to do for recreation and relaxation?
Probably just like the hiking, the movies, and soccer.
Awesome. And where do you go for those things?
So for the hiking, we go just like anywhere in like this LA County area, and then soccer at school, and then movies at home.
Perfect. And do you like these facilities or atmosphere that these hobbies bring?
Yeah, actually that's my favorite part of them.
Awesome. And do you think it suits you well?
Yes, because I'm very active.
They all sound like very active occupations. And do you have access to all the places you want to do these hobbies?
Yes.
Perfect. And who do you like to do these hobbies with?
Probably my roommate. Lexi's my favorite, and just like anybody really that's like fun socially.
Yeah, and you mentioned you have like a pretty big friend group. Do you like to do these activities with them as well?
Yes.
Awesome. And how would you say you get along with them?
Very well. Like I'm a really good listener, so I just have people like feel comfortable opening up to me.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that a few times earlier too. Can you tell me about something you did recently that would show me what kind of atmosphere you're in when you want to relax?
Yeah, so I had a long day. I had finished my exam, and then on my way home, I grabbed some In-N-Out, and then I walked up my stairs, lit a candle, grabbed a blanket from my room, and turned on the TV, and I just sat there with my blanket eating my In-N-Out, and it was just like the decompression that I needed.
That sounds really relaxing. Thank you. Since we're finishing up this section, you can take another break and then we'll come back to it, okay?
Okay, great.
Great, thank you.
Okay, Gretchen, welcome back. How was your break? Oh, it was really good.
Okay, awesome. We just have a couple more questions. Do you feel okay to keep going?
Oh yes, let's get this
Okay,
done.
great. You're doing awesome. All right, so we're just going to talk a little bit about kind of what makes you who you are and kind of how you make choices in regards to what's going on in your life. So, first thing I want to ask, I know you talked about working at Forever 21. Can you tell me a little bit about why you wanted that job? What kind of motivated you towards that?
I definitely needed money for the apartment, especially so like I just couldn't go back home, so moving out pushed me.
Okay, what was hard at home that made you want to move?
My parents were not understanding of my condition,
Yeah.
and I feel like when I got diagnosed, they never really looked into it, and I wish they would have, because maybe it would have helped me.
Yeah, that's super important. Do you feel like you get to kind of do the things that are important to you? Do you have time to do the things that you like?
Yeah, I wish there was a little bit more structure so I can do it more often, but for the most part, yes.
So you kind of want maybe more routine? In your
Yeah,
life?
I definitely need more routine so I can do better stuff for my health.
Okay, what kind of things do you want to do for your health?
So kind of like I mentioned a little bit earlier, like that skincare routine,
Mhm.
since it's like makes me just have like such a good day. I wish I could start doing that every day. And then cooking, like I need to cook. Like I'm already old enough to do it. Like I have to.
Okay. Do you feel like maybe you could do that with Lexi together?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Could you tell me maybe something that you don't have time to do or that you can't do that maybe you want to do?
I need to be more organized. Like I need to write the stuff down like on a planner. Like
yeah,
for
we talked about
school,
that earlier.
yeah, I wish I could do that. And then I wish that I had more time to study and clean up my room.
Okay. It sounds like having a clean space is important for you.
Yeah, it seems like it'd probably be beneficial.
Okay. Could you give me one example maybe of a recent situation when you weren't able to do something that you really valued, like maybe spending time with someone?
Yeah, so I was supposed to go to the LA soccer game with my dad.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, we like it, right? It was kind of my fault, kind of his too, but I woke up late and I was like rushing to get ready, and he had been downstairs for like quite a while, and he just like ended up leaving because he said it was already gonna be halftime, and like with the traffic and the parking, we weren't gonna make it. We didn't even spend time with each other.
Oh, how did that make you feel?
I kind of felt like he kind of made it seem like it was my fault, to be honest. Like I did something bad, but I feel like he should have just waited or like offered an alternative hangout.
Okay. So you felt like maybe it was kind of both of your faults.
Yeah,
Maybe some more communication would have helped.
probably.
Okay. Do you feel like you're able to choose the things in your life that are important to you?
I tried to, but it's hard because I'm just trying to fit into like that stereotype of like what my parents would think is good.
Okay. Do you feel like that what their vision of you really shapes what you do?
Yeah, that's like why I want to be successful, because I feel like they always have like a bad perception of me, and I don't want to be the cause of their problems.
Okay, got it. Is there anything that routinely interferes with what you want to do? So like anything on your daily basis that keeps you from doing maybe school or work?
Yeah, probably like my sleeping, like waking up in the middle of the night, just because it like makes me sleepy throughout the day, and I'm always late because of it. Yeah.
Yeah, being tired is not fun during the day.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're more distracted when you're more tired?
Yeah, like I just like doze off and I just like daydream.
Okay. Okay, thanks for sharing. Do you feel like you have enough time to do the things you enjoy? And maybe are there any hobbies that you haven't mentioned that you want to talk about?
I just have like those main 3 hobbies. Maybe it'd be better to introduce more. I just don't see myself with time to do that.
Is that something maybe you'd want to work on?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Do you have free time? Do you feel like you have free time?
No.
Okay. Is that something you maybe would want to get to?
Yeah, more free time.
Okay.
I give myself too many breaks.
Okay. So then you feel like you don't have enough time to do what you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me just one example of a recent time when you had a lot of fun?
Sure. So it was the other night, when we had finished like a soccer practice. A bunch of us went to go eat some KFC, and it was like really fun, and we were just like bonding, socializing, and I had actually done pretty well that game. Like my teammates are communicating with me, and I was like focused in the game.
Okay. That sounds really fun. I love KFC too.
Yeah.
So you felt like maybe you felt better about yourself because you were able to stay focused?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Can you give me one example of a time when you didn't have enough time to do the things you enjoyed? Just an example of that, what we talked about earlier.
Yeah. So probably like when I'm studying,
Okay.
it just takes so long, and I really wanted to stay up and watch the rest of Doctor Strange, from the Marvel movies,
Okay.
but I just was I literally fell asleep while studying.
Do you feel like it takes you longer than other people to study?
Yeah, like I was talking to my friend from the class, and she understood the concepts in like by the end of the class period, but I had to still go home, make flashcards, and try and learn it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, those vectors are getting me.
Oh man, that's hard stuff.
Yeah.
Do you ever set goals for your future? Just kind of looking towards the future.
Not really. I do want to be a physical therapist because I feel like that has like a good career outcome,
Okay.
and it probably fits my personality the best.
Okay. Do you feel like you're able to follow through with the goals that you set, whether they're big or small?
I never have, to be honest, but I really want to do something that doesn't make me a bad kid.
Okay. Okay. Can you give me one example of when maybe you did set a goal and you followed through with it? It could be just a small goal.
Yeah, I had the goal to continue playing soccer, even when my parents were going through like their divorce.
Right.
So I kept going with that, and it was kind of hard because they were like separated, so not really paying attention.
Okay.
But yeah, I kept going just to be a good teammate.
Can you tell me more about how that made you feel? Maybe did your teammates support you through that hard time?
Yeah, so I was really close to my teammates, so they provided the support. It just kind of made me feel like distant from my parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. How do you normally make decisions to get things done? Do you feel like it's a plan? Is it spontaneous?
Oh, it's very spontaneous. That's like exactly how I moved out of the house. Like my ex-boyfriend was like, "Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Okay. Do you feel like that works out for you, or do you not like it?
Not really, because I didn't think about school. So I ended up not finishing high school because I couldn't even re-enroll to wherever we moved to.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you kind of run into a difficulty in your life, how do you usually handle it?
Avoidance usually. Then like if I act out, I just try and like hide it.
So do you feel like you kind of shut down?
Yeah, and I just kind of like try to ignore it and not bring it up.
If you ever do bring it up to someone, who would that usually be?
Like right now, I'll try and bring it up to like my roommate or maybe
Okay.
just kind of sit with it by myself, because like in the past when I would bring it up to my mom, she would get really like abusive with me, and that's why I don't like sharing.
So because of that, you feel like you kind of keep things in.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for sharing. What is the biggest challenge you're facing right now? So that could kind of refer to past trauma or something you're going through right now.
Probably like staying focused in school, and that was also the case in like elementary through high school. So it's just continuing with college.
Do you feel like the way that your mom reacted to your grades and stuff affects you still now?
Yeah, like it's because like in college it's different because you don't need to like be on check with people as much, but like I just always feel like she's gonna like ask for my report card, but like I know that's not how it works in college.
So you just kind of have that fear.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give me an example of a decision that you made that kind of shows how you can adjust to these difficulties? Something that you've been able to do?
Yeah, so I've been able to like look at the class schedules during enrollment, and I was actually able to talk to like my counselor about like what would work best for me. So I picked night classes and I picked short classes.
Oh yeah, you mentioned those night classes. Do you feel like you focus a lot better at night?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Do you need another break, or do you want to keep going?
It's okay, I can keep going.
Okay, you're doing awesome. Tell me an event or experience that really shaped you the most.
Oh yeah, it was definitely my trip to Minnesota. It was a backpacking trip that I took for 3 months.
Awesome, that sounds exciting. What kind of changed for you on that trip?
It was just so like enlightening. Like we were around nature, and everybody around me was like making me feel comfortable, and I really just got to be who I was.
That's awesome. Sounds like you felt accepted there.
I did.
Great. What kind of changes were brought after that trip for you?
So after that, I definitely was like, okay, I need to move away from my boyfriend. And I need to stop using these drugs. Like, I just like had an awakening.
That's great.
Yeah.
When you think about your life, when is a time that you were doing your best?
So I was probably doing my best when I was on that trip and afterward, because I was like so motivated from the trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you feel like you were remotivated?
Yeah, basically. Like I had to set goals for myself.
That's great. What made that time period after feel so good for you?
I just felt like I was supported by the people that I met there, and I wasn't afraid to like be myself.
That's wonderful. What would you consider your biggest success in your life?
So definitely, like after the Minnesota trip, I went back to school and I got my GED, so I have my high school diploma now.
Congratulations, that's super exciting. What would you consider now the worst period in your life?
Definitely when I was using, it was just like trying to fill the void, and I was just trying to like support my boyfriend at the time, and my family wasn't talking to me. I had run away. It was just really bad.
Okay, that sounds difficult. How did you feel about that?
I just felt alone and just like depressed.
Okay. What was it about your behavior that made that such a hard time?
I just feel like I wasn't thinking about anybody. I was just kind of, just sad.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
What was your biggest failure in your life?
Probably doing poorly in school.
Okay.
I would always get like notes sent home, and I actually got kicked out of a private school, and that caused my parents to fight a lot because it cost so much money, and then just for me to get kicked out.
Okay, that must have been difficult.
Yeah.
Could you tell me about maybe looking towards your future?
Mhm.
What would, if you could make your future turn out how you want, what would it look like?
So I want to be a PT because I feel like I'm gonna be good at helping people and like get them active. Yeah.
Love that.
And hopefully just make my parents proud and not be like that problem child that they think I am.
Okay. What is something that you want to do in the future for your personal life?
Well, I do want to help those people, but then I also want to like advocate for people with ADHD because I feel like nobody knows. They just want to fit us into like this stigma, and that's not how everybody works.
Yeah, awesome.
So that is all the questions that I have today. I really appreciate you coming in today and being vulnerable and answering all these questions. I know some of them were a little bit difficult. I will go ahead and review your responses and go ahead and reach out to schedule our next appointment.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
weekend.
You too.